Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris Army, and today we're playing a little more Football Manager 2016 with Catania. So, I haven't done this in a while. I know that a couple of people on Twitter have accused me of, they've accused me of cheating, basically using the in-game editor and whatnot. You can see right here on this screen, this is our Catania save. El Fantastico, as I named it. In-game editor allowed, yes, because I'm still not sure how to turn that off. But in-game editor used, no. And database changes 0. So this is the default database, and this is unedited. So I thought we'd just get that out of the way, because a few people did feel that it was, I was cheating somehow. I don't know. But current version, it's the latest version, everything's updated, so that should be about that, hopefully. You can see we are playing as Catania. So with that out of the way, I would like to let everybody know that this is the end of the season. This is our wrap-up video, and I got a new contract. I've got a new contract, which should show you how well things have gone. You should be able to see here from the career achievements as well. We did some stuff. So, where to begin? There's a lot that's happened. We're in July. Let's just jump in to here, and you can see Italian Serie C first. So, we actually won the league last season. We've moved up into Serie B with some big teams, including Genoa and Empoli, Perugia, Pescara, Vicenza are down here, Cesena, Bari. There's some big-ish clubs in this division. Genoa, for me, are the big team in Serie B this season. And they do have... Where is he? Where's Mattia Perin? Has he already been sold? He has. He's gone to Watford. Wow, what a good goalkeeper. 7.5 million. That is an absolute steal for Watford. I did not see that one. Okay. So never mind. I was going to say they have the best Italian goalkeeper who's not at a big club. But apparently they sold him, so makes things a little bit easier for us. They still do have a few good players in their team. So, Ezekiel Munoz is in there. Tashidis is in there as well. Goran Pandev is still at the club. Matarese is quite a good young striker. Overall, this is going to be a difficult team to actually sort of race to the title, but we're without any points deduction now. So we're going to go down to Serie CC and look at last season's table. As you can see, we won the league with 9 points to spare. We had 69. Foggia actually overtook Catanzaro. That was a big fall from grace from Catanzaro. And yeah, not too bad, not too bad. The interesting thing is there was also an Italian yeah, I'm not sure what to call it, but there was like a Super Cup of sorts where the 3 winners of the Serie C actually went together in a round-robin competition. We beat both teams, and they basically... Let me have a look at the schedule. It'll be on here somewhere. Yeah, Super Cup. In the C Super Cup. So, we beat Cittadella and Siena. They drew with each other. So, we finished top of that. So, we won the Super Cup. So, I like to call it a league and cup double. It wasn't. You can see over the course of the season, Not a great pre-season. And then as we moved into the season, a little bit of a rocky start the first 4 games. 2 losses, a draw and a win. Not great. But slowly we started picking up, and by the time we hit, let's see here, well, December, we drew to open up December, but it's just win after win after win. Couple of draws in there. That's a lovely sort of streak of results, which basically overhauled that 11-point deficit and won us the title. I think that we actually, we won the title after drawing to Juve Stabia, because no, actually after we lost to Foggia, that's right, 2 games remaining, because Catanzaro drew their game. So we won the title because someone else couldn't win. I felt that was a very good sort of end to the season, though. That last defeat wasn't anything to worry about. We did quite well at the end, and of course that puts us in a great position now going forward. Another thing to bring you up to date on is the squad for this season. We've had a lot of players back from loan. So, new signing is, I'm going to start from the top and work down. So the new signings in the club at the moment, Andrea Mel is a decent centre-back. He's not a great centre-back, but he's an improvement over what we had last season. He's actually currently a rotation player. So, I think he is anyway. Yes, he's a rotation player. I could have just gone back to the main screen, because it says on here, I've set up my thing, but we do seem to be missing one. We do seem to be missing. So, insert column. Let me find this and I'll be back. Okay, that's better. We've re-added in the last 5 games column. I was wondering where that had actually gone to. So, I do like this little layout. As I was saying, it's kind of handy having all the information right there. Although I think value is probably in the wrong place. Let's move value over here. Wow, so that's not gonna... Never mind. Let's put value... over there then. So it gives you the information that you kind of want to be able to see at a glance. So that'll have to do it. I'll fiddle around with that later on. But Andrea Mel adds to a very deep sort of line of defenders. You remember that Abel Gili last season was probably our standout defender over the course of the season. He's rated now at 3-star. 3.5-star is Andrea May. And Giombe and Alexi Rolin have come back off loan and are currently starting for us. I might have to sell 1 or 2 of these players. There were a lot of agreed deals on those contracts. We only ever got 1 bid, and I'll talk about that a little bit later on why we didn't accept it. But Norbert is a good young centre-back, so we're happy to keep him at the club. And Alexis Rolin is a very, very nice central defender. So, with those 2 at the back, we are far improved. We keep Bruskagin on the left and Garufo on the right. Bastioni keeps his spot in goal. That nearly didn't happen, but he does at the moment. I'm trying to work a deal for another goalkeeper. We'll talk about that a little bit later on again. In centre midfield, Fabian Ronaldo. Now, we got a bid of 1.5 million for Fabian, which is nowhere near good enough. There was an agreed deal with Boca Juniors for 4 or 6 million. I can't remember which, but it was about 4 million at least. And they bid 1.7, I think it was. So I turned that down. I asked them if they wanted to pay the 4. They said no. So basically, Ronaldo comes back into the club, and as you can see, is a very, very nice sort of defensive ball-winning midfielder. Another new signing to go alongside him in centre midfield is Irishman Connor Smith. Tidy, nothing spectacular, but a really nice player. Comes on a free transfer from AFC Wimbledon after leaving Watford the season before. I think they're a nice pairing in that midfield. Bustos and Musachi, both first team players last season. They're kind of rotation players this year. We keep Risotto and Alonso in the team in their positions in attacking midfield. Khalil will drop back into attacking midfield on that left hand side as a second striker. And up front, the signing of all signings, for me, high potential, Ray Minaj, the Albanian from Inter Milan. He's a big target man, and he's not a great player here, you can see by his stats, but there's no weaknesses at all, and he's 19 and he's got so much room to grow. You know, he's almost as good as Khalil now. He's got the black potential star there, very well suited to Serie A football, and he's going to be playing a division below that. Determined, professional, pace and acceleration. Can only play up front and can only shoot with one foot. I don't care. What I can see by this scout report and what the coach report and what the scout report told me was Ray is going to be an absolute beastly player, which is why we're paying him $7,000 a week. And yeah, we had to pay about $300,000 for him in signing on fees, which is far and away the most anybody had had. But he was on loan at Inter Milan. Cremonese, he's coming to the end of his contract, so we've picked him up, and I think that is a very nice addition and provides a lovely foil for this attacking midfield trio to sort of play behind, and someone that Khalil could probably play off really, really well. That puts Bombaghi onto the bench. Falcone stays on the bench as a striking option. He's still got good potential, so we'll keep him there. And the other two new people in this first team squad, we've got Carlo Allari, good 24-year-old attacking midfielder, can play centre midfield as well. So he's a nice little playmaker in that middle of the park. Bit of long shots, decent all over the place. So he's come on a free from Juventus. I couldn't remember which big club it was. He's played down in the lower leagues for a while. Now he gets his chance to sort of come in and be a rotational sort of young player in our push for promotion. The other player, Antonio Palma, 22, lots of flair, a little bit more development needed. He's more of a central midfielder than an attacking midfielder, but again, a little bit of a playmaker. He comes to us from Atalanta. And yeah, I'm fairly happy with both these signings. I think they've got enough potential. They're both on free transfers. They're both going to cover the centre midfield and the attacking midfield spots really, really well. If we just look, we're waiting for the Terracciano deal to go through. There's a lot of transfer listed players here. We've got some more young players. Another Greek goalkeeper. You can see there, not much, but a bit of potential. Let's have a look by potential, actually. So, April came through our youth academy. We've got Sangali in as an attacking midfielder. He's another player that could be in the first team squad over the course of this season. Miotto, good potential. Bresciano, good potential. Juan Ramos was already here. We're waiting for him to develop. Roman Maszek, he's come in from Juventus as well, I believe. He was released on a free transfer. All these deals are free transfers. I couldn't afford to spend money. And I actually signed 24 or 26 on the same day. As soon as the transfer window opened, I'd had all these deals waiting to go. Anceloni and Motta, good left back options as well if Ramos doesn't make it. Costas is a Cypriot, he's pretty good. Pascal, an attacking midfield. So you can see we've got some central midfielders, we've got some full backs, some, a couple of centre backs, plenty of strikers and attacking midfielders as well. So we're a bit front heavy on high potential youngsters. But ultimately, I think we've got enough depth for the first team now. So I'm really not worried about any depth issues. I can let people go out on loan. Everything's great. We were also underneath our wage budget because that got increased this season. But then, of course, all the players came back from loan apart from Monzon. He's on a 2-year loan. So we'll see if Fabian actually comes back to the club. If he does, he's our starting left back. If he doesn't, we get 5.5 million. So we've got another 6 months to wait and see what happens there. Right at the start of the January transfer window. That would be another sort of $2,000 that comes back on our wage budget, sadly, which we can't afford right now. We're going to look at that in a second. But someone of his quality, I'd be happy to have back for a couple of seasons. I'd be very happy to have him marauding down that left flank as Grofo goes down the right. And that leaves Bruce Gagin then on the bench and covering both positions if they're tired. So I'm very happy with that. If we look at the ages in the first team as well, 2 players on the bench, 2 starters. Two starters and 1 player on the bench over 30. That's the key thing for me. I want to keep this a young squad, and I don't want to keep old players around if they're not going to play. So Bustos is new. He came in last season. I'm really not sure that Khalil was our top goal scorer, Alonso was our top assister. I'm not sure I can replace those just yet. I have moved Khalil back, so we'll see how that works out. And then, most of these are starters. Monzon would be a starter. So I might be looking for more central midfielders, or for these youngsters like Palmer and Allari to kind of develop this season to where we can get rid of the older bench players, basically. That's my idea. We look in terms of ability, and Rolling, Giomba, Monzon, Ronaldo, the 4 that were on loan, 3 still are. They are the big players for this club. Ray Minaj comes in and is a very nice option up front. Our fullbacks, new centre back, and our 2 sort of key players from last season. I believe that's actually our captain Khalil and assistant Risotto as well. But player of the year last year was Risotto across the league and everything. We'll take a look at that. Khalil, of course, top goal scorer. So we've already seen what the depth can do. Potential as well. We're doing really well at improving the club. Except all these players coming back off loan has created a slight problem. We're now 37, almost 37,500 over our wage budget. So I'm not sure how we're going to be able to cope with this. I've got one more player I really want to bring in because I believe he's going to be a really good young goalkeeper. I got rid of a few affiliated clubs. We got improved youth facilities that cost 2 million, which we've now got in our bank balance thanks to a bunch of stuff this season. Let's see. This season, other was 2. Sponsorship was 4 million this season. That other, I believe, was a. That's not TV deal, is it? I can't remember what that is. But basically, we got 2 million in TV money this year. We had 4 million in sponsorship so far this year. Hopefully, there'll be a few more deals that crop up before the season actually starts. And it took us out of the red. We're back in black. 3.2 million left in the bank. We're in a much better financial position than we were. We've still got no transfer budget. We're still far over our wage budget. I'm hiring a director of football because the one we had was terrible and I never noticed. So we're going to get a new guy in there. And I've had to go with a new assistant as well. Okay, see, this is the default screen I'm used to seeing. So sadly, Huddersfield Town hired Paolo Di Canio, and he took his regular assistant with him, which of course was my assistant last season. So Mario Puzo comes in, great judging player potential, great working with youngsters, both things I value highly in an assistant. Discipline's good and tactical knowledge is good, so I'm hoping he can help out there. He doesn't really fit our playing style too much, but there's not much I can do about that. He's not a great coach, bad man management, but luckily that's something I believe I'm pretty good at. Like, squad morale's never an issue with me. Rotating players sometimes is, but ultimately motivating and man management are my key strengths. A little bit of tactical at times. So I can take the brunt of his weakness, and he can really help me out by judging these players for me, which of course is the stars you see on your main squad screen. This is your assistant's idea of those players. So if you've got really good judging ability and judging potential, there's a good chance you will see a truer reflection of the players, and it's a much easier way then to judge who you want to keep, who you want to sell. And I think for a Serie B team, Mario Puzo is a very, very nice choice. He's not quite as good as our former assistant manager, sadly, but you know, we've got to move on there. We did lose a scout. 6 scouts. What, can we get more scouts now? I did hire some physios, but can we actually get more scouts? We can hire 2 scouts. We did have 7, we were only allowed 6. So when one of them got offered a contract elsewhere, I was quite happy. But now we can get 2 more scouts. We can still get a lot more physios, but I don't think we need them. I'm going to hold off on the scouts until I can sort out this wage budget issue. And yeah, when the director of football comes in, I'm hoping it'll improve these quite some distance. We're still quite good in terms of our coaching. Fitness is our worst. We are about to go search for a fitness coach to bring us above average though. So I'm quite happy with that. We're going to take a look as well at the overall transfers this season. You can see here all these players came in. Motta came in from a club. So did Clarici, Francini, Minaj, Smith, Palmer. We've already looked at Sangali, Allari. Cesarano, he's a high determination young player. I love those. Mel Miotto, Luciani, good young right back, and Calscagni, who is a fairly good central midfielder. So all those came in on free transfers from clubs. All these players came in on free transfers normally. We got rid of some youngsters as well on frees, and we saw Rossina retire because he had a cruciate injury, I think, 6 to 7 months. So see, last season we did all our business on a free, and it worked out really well for us. Sadly, Fabiani on Yeu, Ferrari on loan didn't work out either. Yeah, couple of failures in there. Having to let go of a couple of players as well. We sold some youth last season. This season we've kind of kept things together. We're still offering trials to people. So who else might be coming in? Well, Croce might be coming in. Another good central midfielder. He's a bit old, but he does have the ability. He's available on a free transfer. Conco is released as well. I was thinking maybe we could get rid of our right back for some money and see if we can get Conco in cheaper. He's coming in on trial. Alexander Murillo is a very good young striker. He is a Colombian with Portuguese passport. Great finishing, a chance to be great finishing there. We can't actually afford to scout anymore. We did scout once, and there was a lot of black stars, so I thought on a free transfer and a short sort of easy contract, we'd pick him up. Pietro is on his way out. Wolski is also here on a free transfer, another attacking midfielder. So I'm just trying to get as many options as I can. He's also 23. Remember that two of our sort of oldest three players are attacking midfielders, so Khalil and Risotto might need, Alonso, I believe, not Risotto, need to be replaced in the future. So someone like Rafael might be an option there. All this does depend, however, on that ability to get down that wage budget. So I'm going to hope the board, seeing we have 3 million in the bank, are willing to give me transfer funds or wage budget, and I'm going to put it all in the wage budget, try and get there. We also need to get it down just normally. So I'm thinking this season, since we got a little bit of centre-back depth, if we can get Norbert out on loan, that will help. And when we look at the youth team here, we've got not needed all these big earners here. Not Barsic. So what's that? It's 3, 2, 5, 2, 7, 2, 9, 4, 12, 14, 7, and 17, 4. So we can get 17,500 basically if we can get rid of all these players. So that will reduce the wage deficit by about half. Norbert would be another 7, which means we'd be about 10,000 over. One transfer budget increase or one wage budget increase, we might be in the right sort of area to pay all our wages. And then you still got Plasmated, Pierre Materi on 1,000 each, and a lot of these youngsters on small money. I think it'll all add up to where it's going to be tight, but it's going to be doable, hopefully. The last thing, though, we need to look at here, just as a roundup and a look forward for the next season, are the players I've been trying to get in. Loporto and Agazi were here on loan last season. I might look to try and do deals for them if I don't have to pay wages. But released from Crew, I believe it's Crew, yes. Released from Crew is Ben Garrett. I think that he is going to be a great goalkeeper. He's normally got high potential. I normally sign him with Premier League clubs. I've never seen him develop. So I don't know how good he will get, but Southampton and Middlesbrough are after him. Two clubs known for developing youngsters in England. So I'm going to try and get him if I can get those wages down. He is my one signing I really want to make now. After I got Ray up front, Ben Garrett is my next objective. So if we can get him, it'll improve the goalkeeping position now and in the future, because I think Garrett's got a lot of potential. We're actually... Are we scouting him? No, we're not scouting him. Why aren't we scouting him? I know, that's how I found out my director of football was terrible, because I was going to send him to go and scout him, and that's when I realised how bad he was. So chief scout. Who's my chief scout? Chief scout is Giuntini. So let's get Ben Garrett all scouted out, because there he is. So watch him for a week. We'll try and get a little bit better idea of where his abilities actually lie. But I'm fairly sure he'll be our best goalkeeper, not only now but in the future. He's a Serie A potential goalkeeper, I'm sure of that amount. because whenever I scouted him playing in England in the Premier League, he was always a Premier League standard goalkeeper. So if I can get him in, I can get rid of Bastioni. Probably it'll increase the wages a little bit, but between Garrett and Messina, I think we've got two great young goalkeepers going forward. So I'm really happy about that. We'll take a quick look at the schedule this season. Serie B, you can see we open up away to a big club in Bari. Then Modena at home. Genoa away in sort of mid-September is going to be our first tough game. Yeah, Boxing Day is Pordenone. And then we end the season with a trip away to Pro Vercelli, the smallest of the Italian clubs, the one that's fallen down the furthest in Italian football, that has actually won the Serie A title in its history. So I believe it had anyway. Or is it the one that was up there? Italia Serie C, Sicilia. I'm not sure, but Pro Vercelli is one of those. Oh no, this is us. Of course it is. I clicked on club. Serie A. There we go. If you look there, 7 times winner of the Serie A. Last time in 1922. This is a club that has fallen down so far over the years, and it's been really struggling to get promoted, and up and down and back up, and now it's firmly in Serie B. It's the fallen giant of Italian football, and we end our season at their ground. So that's going to be an interesting one, because I believe they might be up near the top of the table at that stage. So if we do need a result, that is a tough place to go. Luckily we get rid of some of the other bigger clubs around the February mark, which is when the titles are won, of course, and that is our goal. We are going for the title here this season, just as we did last season, because I feel the squad's good enough. So we've got a few wage issues. We've got to do a couple of moves to make that sort of fit under budget again and get the board happy with that. But we're under a new contract. Players have come back off loan. A few new signings. We're still trying to make 1 or 2 key signings if we can figure out the wage issue. And we'll go from there, guys. We will go from there. So I'm going to play a little bit, get to the start of the season, and in the next video we should see our season opener in Serie B. I don't know how this season's going to go. This club is full of question marks for me. I just don't know how we're going to be able to get things done. But hopefully it's going to be another exciting, successful season. I'm sure that it's going to be a lot of fun along the way, no matter what happens. I hope you're there to watch it with us. Come back soon, guys. And until then, take care of yourselves.